Morning glories, the well bucket entangled, I ask for water. Finding the well bucket entwined by vines with lovely morning glories, a woman goes to a neighbor's well for water rather than damaging the fragile flowers by disentangling the vine. Many of the haiku she composed were born at the foot of the sacred Hakusan mountain. Nodding mountain foot with the skirt of the field, this clear water. The Terori River gently flows eternally. The earth stretches out extensively. The sound of the distant waves reaches from the Japan Sea. Chiyo-Jo, the woman who wrote 1,700 haiku in the endless cycle of the seasons. The world's shortest literature is haiku. Haiku with kigo, a seasonal word, and 5/7/5 rhythm expresses the beauty of a cosmos crafted by words. Chiyo-Jo, a haiku poet who dedicated her life to haiku and contributed to its fame overseas as well. In 1703, Chiyo-Jo was born in Matto, Kaga, as a daughter of Fukumasuya Rokubei, a craftsman specializing in the mounting of artwork. Because much of this business dealt with haiku poets, professional mounters needed not only the skills of their craft, but a thorough knowledge of haiku, calligraphy, and pictures. Young Chiyo-Jo grew up watching her parents at work, and it was only natural for her to begin counting 5/7/5 syllables on her little fingers. Chiyo-Jo began writing haiku when she was about 7. Having watched flocks of geese flying south in the evening glow, Chiyo-Jo wrote, "First wild geese, coming, still coming. First wild geese, hearing all lines at once, too good." Astonished by her haiku abilities, her parents, wishing her to expand on this talent, sent Chiyo-Jo at the age of 12 to study under Kitakataya Hansui, a haiku poet living in Motoyoshi. Motoyoshi is what is now Mikawa in Hakusan City. While learning basic social manners, Chiyo-Jo was instructed in haiku by Hansui, honing her sensitivities. After returning home, while helping her parents' business, she commuted to Hansui's home to continue with her haiku lessons. Two nice things if I take the alley route, clear springs. The clear spring water found en route to Motoyoshi was a small joy to Chiyo-Jo on a hot summer day. One day, Chiyo-Jo, who had turned 17, was introduced to a man who was known as the god of haiku. In Chiyo-Jo's time, there were many haiku poets in various parts of Japan who were followers of Matsuo Basho, a master poet who had traveled extensively throughout Japan, including the deep north. One of those eminent poets was Kagami Shiko of Mino. Hearing about the talented young woman, he visited Fukumasuya during his travels. Shiko gave the perplexed Chiyo-Jo two topics, the blue flag iris and lightning, advising her that a haiku needs only to be a pure expression of what you see. Chiyo-Jo responded with her observation that blue flags of early summer look like the design around the hem of a kimono that merges the passing spring with coming summer. Spring stays in the iris. Then comparing the lightning on the river surface to a person. Lightning gets wet, water's surface. Seeing these haiku, Shiko praised Chiyo-Jo as a haiku poet with a natural-born talent. A small-town mounter's daughter thus became renowned throughout Japan as a young genius. Chiyo-Jo turned 18 years old and, according to one academic source, married a low-ranking samurai of Kanazawa. Chiyo-Jo joined a haiku circle in Kanazawa and attended their kukai, or monthly haiku gatherings. She became acquainted with poets, including another haiku poetess named Shisenjo, who became Chiyo-Jo's lifelong friend. The snowy pond, still a space for ducks to play. With thick snow covering the landscape as far as one can see, the only place without snow is the pond. It's like inviting the mallard ducks flying in the cold winter sky to come down and play. Chiyo-Jo's husband died young, and she returned to her parents' home. While helping out her parents' business, she vowed to devote her life to haiku. It was around this time in her life that, wishing to develop new haiku horizons, she traveled to faraway Ise to meet Nakagawa Otsuyu, the haiku poet belonging to the Ise school. When Chiyo-Jo was 24 years old, a kasen, a collaborative poetry of haiku verses made with her dear friend Shisenjo, was published. Nonchalantly, with a courage nature gives her, a mountain cuckoo. Chiyo-Jo's verse was followed by Shinseijo's shorter verse. Neither cloudy nor shiny, the cloud of Dutsia flowers. The two women were so absorbed in writing together that they completed not just one kasen but two, with a total of 72 verses. They offered their kasen to the figure of Maya, Buddha's mother, in Gyozenji Temple in Matto. These kasen attracted the attention of Toro, a haiku poet of Komatsu. The interest led to the publication of an anthology, Haikai Princess Ceremony, in which haiku by women poets of Komatsu were also included. Although Chiyo-Jo was an established haiku poet, life was difficult for her. The widow had to face the death of her parents, followed by her brother, and the family business also suffered. Winter was the hardest season for Chiyo-Jo, who was not physically strong. Her difficulties in managing the mounter's shop in this season must have made her feel like a slender bamboo branch bending under the heavy snow. Please do not add the heavier coldness, snow on the bamboo. She framed this haiku and offered it to the Kinkengu shrine in Tsurugi. Seeing the words Chiyo, Mounter of Matto, on the back gives us a vivid picture of her life, not only as a poet, but as a professional mounter as well. In her 40s, Chiyo-Jo awakened to haiga, or haiku pictures, learning and mastering this art. Her interactions with many painters and poets drew her to the charm of haiga. She was instructed by two famous painters, Sakaki Hyakusen and Go Shunmei, and is said to have been influenced by Ike no Taiga as well. Her gentle brushstrokes based on sensitive observation. The mounted artwork was acclaimed for the pictures as well as the mounting. Chiyo-Jo began to receive orders to mount works of haiku poets from far and near. With the betterment of her life, in the winter of her 52nd year, she shaved her hair and became a nun, changing her poetess name from Chiyo-Jo to Chiyo-ni. Putting up my hair, no more. My hands in the kotatsu. She is saying here that she can now live a more quiet life, warming her hands under the heated quilt while writing haiku and drawing haiga to her heart's content. In 1763, when Chiyo-ni was 61, she was honored by a once-in-a-lifetime request. Her haiku had been chosen to be an official gift to an important delegation from Korea. 100 gourds from the heart of one vine. When the wind blows, the blossoms will fall, a kite in the sky. Chiyo-ni chose 21 haiku from her lifelong collection, making these into 6 picture scrolls and 15 folding fans. These were delivered to the feudal lord of Kaga. Chiyo-ni, who served as a bridge for international exchange, became even more famous, and an anthology of her haiku was published as Chiyo-ni's Haiku. For an anthology of haiku to be published during the writer's lifetime, and a woman at that, was virtually unheard of in this period of time. And this was even followed by her second haiku anthology, Haikai, Voice of a Pine Tree. She also wrote an honorary introduction for an anthology of works by female writers of haiku. The rise to fame of a poor small-town mounter's daughter, brought about by sheer effort and talent, was like a light shining through the darkness of class-bound feudalism. Chiyo-ni continued to travel even in her late years to places such as Omi, Kyoto, and Owari. A haiku was found on the back of a small desk, which may have been written in response to requests by haiku poets during one of her journeys. The autumn wind resounds in the mountain, voice of the bell. On her way back from Ise, she hears the pleasant harmony of the rustling of autumn leaves, accented by a tolling bell sounding from Yakushido Temple in Yamanaka Hot Springs. Chiyo-ni, who traveled and wrote haiku extensively, eventually became bedridden due to age and lung illness. Let us introduce Chiyo-ni's last haiku. I also saw the moon, and so I say goodbye to this world. Having seen everything beautiful in this world, Chiyo-ni quietly passed away at the age of 73. Chiyo-Jo's 1700 haiku were born from the scenes and landscapes of the seasons. They have been translated into a multitude of languages and are loved by people around the world. The hopes of life are engraved into the 17 syllables. Even now, Chiyo-Jo's heart still lives on in her haiku.